Football season is here.
Shotgun snap to Lovey, bobbles for a moment, now lost it. Right side of the end zone, Watson leaping grab. Oh, sensational touchdown catch!
Packers training camp is underway in Green Bay, and nobody is bringing you closer to the action than us.
We are enjoying some special teams work, some individual drills right now for the offense and defensive linemen, DBs in front of us.
All of the storylines, all of the emerging stars, and all of the big plays out of camp. Analyzed by two guys who know Packers football inside and out.
Quarterbacks at this time of year, veteran quarterbacks especially, they'll be trying throws here that they wouldn't try elsewhere.
Training camp coverage on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Now, live from the perch above Ray Nitschke Field, with the voice of the Packers, Wayne Larrivee.
And the Packers deliver the dagger.
Here is Packers OT host, Bill Schmid.
And welcome into Ray Nitschke Field as we get the third week and game week of the 2026 preseason underway. It's Training Camp Live on your home for Packers football. I'm Bill Schmid, host of Packers OT and the Huddle on Fox Sports 920 in Milwaukee, 1070 AM in Madison. And to my right is the voice of Cheeseheads everywhere, from London, the UK, to London, Wisconsin. From Paris, France to Paris, Texas. If you want to talk about the Green Bay Packers, Cheesehead TV is here for Packers fans worldwide, and Aaron Nagler runs that, and he's next to me here to my right. Thanks for joining me today, brother.
Thanks for having me, Bill. Once again, the intro gasses up Wayne Larrivee, and they get Aaron Nagler. So I apologize right out of the gate to everyone tuning in, hoping to hear incisive analysis from the voice of the Green Bay Packers and ending up with some schlub.
Well, listen, some schlub and then Aaron Nagler. So that's the difficult trade-off here.
Yeah.
And we do appreciate Wayne. He'll rejoin us coming up tomorrow. But this is a big day to be here. This is a big day for the Green Bay Packers in particular.
Yes,
You want to talk about leading up to game week. You were here yesterday, saw the big Savion Williams day. Heard from Matt LaFleur a little bit ago, and Williams had the eye of a lot of folks. But there's going to be a lot of plays to have your eye on here today. Maybe not as many as the head coach was hoping, but they delineated yesterday as a low day. Today is the high day. Tomorrow will be another low walkthrough, and they're playing an actual tackle football game coming up on Thursday.
And then to get the opportunity, you did mention LaFleur saying they were hoping to get 80 reps or so today. Probably not going to hit that threshold. What is going to be interesting is to see how they juggle some of these personnel groups. I mean, they're down at tight end. They're down bad at tight end. They're down. Just to get to a practice, they're having to sign guys to get through a week, essentially. So going to be interesting to see how they juggle all of that today. As you said, going to be an up day. A lot of work, a lot of, I would think, scrimmage possibilities, a lot of 11 on 11. We're going to be here bringing it to you all from Ray Nitschke Field.
And also, Nags, you mentioned at the wide receiver position, Matthew Golden and Jaden Reed both expected to be not participating later on today. Going to be some shots of Sky Moore, and might be hearing some of that coming up. And Christian Watson, big day, obviously, but there's some eyes on the aforementioned Savion Williams, who had 8 balls thrown his way on Sunday. Matt LaFleur said caught 7 of them. I thought turned some heads again on Friday night here at Family Night.
Yes, sir.
You were here for that. The energy, obviously, in the stadium is unmatched. On the field, they would have liked it to be a little cleaner. I'm excited to see how Matt talked about pushing through the humidity and the heat on Friday night. Well, they're going to go through some dew points and some humidity here today. Might not nearly be as hot now.
Shout out Armin Sarian for dew point reference.
Yeah, 100%. He's the only one that tracks that one, that and FlightAware. But as you work through it, they're going to have a intense day of practice here today, and this is what football is all about. This is the pushing through and fighting through
We got
fatigue,
dog days of
Coach
summer
wanted
here,
to say.
baby. Let's go. That's right. And you spot on regarding how sloppy things were on Family Night. And it wasn't just, and Matt mentioned the penalties, but it was also drops, missed assignments, guys coming scot-free in pass pro. Like, you got to shore that up. And to your point, this is a perfect kind of lab to work through some of that stuff, because it is muggy out here today. It's not crazy hot. We've got some cloud cover. Thank you to nature for that.
Yes.
But,
Mother Nature knows what's up.
But, the big guys right in front of us, right here, the offensive line group. A lot of, I'm not going to say drama, but a lot up in the air. And Anthony Belton, yesterday in the locker room, essentially admitting he got demoted. We've got Jacob Monk now running with the ones at right guard. So, obviously they're going to rotate guys. We've seen Jager Burton get opportunities and things of that nature. But Belton strictly playing tackle yesterday, not playing guard at all. Going to be fascinating to see if that continues today, because sometimes it's just, okay, we're doing that for a day and then they get back to a different track. But it sure would seem that Burton and Monk in particular are pushing for that spot.
And they're both allowing for some looks at the other spots too, right? With the lack of an Aaron Banks, who's out there today, not doing team. Zach Bacco-Boelli as well, not doing team over there on the right side today, was back in a little bit more yesterday. You naturally are able to find more high-pressure spots for these guys to work, and that's something that's hard to manufacture as we finally get into some one-on-ones away.
And we got one-on-ones right in front of us, Billy.
And this is the perks of the perch, Nags.
I like it.
And we get a good look at first rep with Jordan Morgan going up against Lucas Van Ness. That's the one that's going to draw a lot of eyes. But two guys that have stolen eyes this camp, the aforementioned Jagger Burton, going up against Warren Brinson, who's looked really good.
Brinson's
so far.
had a very good camp. So up to this point, I think he's looked to be one of the more improved players, especially along the defensive front. But his quickness and his ability to kind of fight through the wash, knife through, and make some havoc in the backfield, it's been noticeable, and in a way that it wasn't last year.
Yeah, and Jagger Burton just showcasing a beautiful anchor there, being able to lock in and hold up the bull rush of Warren Brinson. But this is one of the best drills to be able to find the fight, the strain, and that's something that Matt LaFleur mentioned as Brian Gutekunst amongst every other personnel person taking in this
watching
action
intently.
That's what they all have liked about Jacob Monk so far, is showcasing some of that strain and physicality that they thought he was about, believed he was when they drafted him. Missed a little bit of it a year ago, but he's in such a position right now to be able to maybe take over one of these spots.
Absolutely, and there's Jacob Monk getting a one-on-one against Brooks. It's always fascinating to see. So they're trying to get to the quarterback, obviously, and you're not really playing football because there's not an offensive line sliding or combo blocking or a back chipping in protection. So somewhat it's a wonderfully unrealistic drill, but it is interesting to see how guys kind of bounce back from a bad rep.
Yep.
Who is able to be consistent and win each and every time that he's out there. I thought Jordan Morgan in that first rep, it's interesting. He wins initially, but Van Ness does a nice job cutting back inside.
Great counter back in.
It's all about, okay, well, would the quarterback have still been holding the ball at that point? They're not taking 5-7 step drops. The quarterback's moving in the pocket a little bit, but it is the best part of camp, this mano-a-mano, who can hold up consistently rep after rep.
And it also breeds for some of the more confrontational moments of camp, which a lot of people will enjoy.
Baby.
But it does give you a little bit. You mentioned Van Ness, and I'm glad you pointed it out, the get back. His counter has been one thing that you've noticed as needs to get better. And I think so far we've seen some moments and some flashes of him adjusting and finding counter moves. That's something you can only do with game action. He hasn't obviously had a ton of it, but being able to manipulate some of those on the back end, that's a good one, and rehabbing and working off to the right.
ZBB getting his own special one-on-one over
I was just going to say, him and Devontae Wyatt getting a little bit of run here. How about Brenton Cox and Barron Sorrell? They both went over against the right tackles. Anthony Belton rolling with the first, and now Travis Glover there. I think Sorrell has looked phenomenal, not only physically, but against the run, kind of doubling up what he showed a little bit last year.
I think it's twofold, right? I think he's looked good, and he's done a great job of setting an edge and making sure stuff is funneled back inside. But he's also been given gifts because these running backs keep trying to bounce things outside. So many times on family night, I'm like, just put your foot in the ground, get upfield, young man.
North and south.
There's been so much trying to get Nixon in particular. Young back, really talented. I like overall, but man, he has not met a play yet that he doesn't want to try and bounce outside.
And that was, I thought that was maybe eloquently stated by Matt LaFleur, saying he had some nice cuts. really nice cuts.
To nowhere.
Really nice cuts in the family night recap as we're back here on to Ray Nitschke Field, and this is one of the most important days of camp, one-on-ones going on with the offensive linemen off to our left, and wide receivers rolling through. Christian Watson catches the passes as well. But now the number ones go right back in here. Jordan Morgan has been near the top of everybody's wish list in terms of conversation.
Here we go, too. Here we go.
And once again, it's him against our boy Brenton Cox.
Brenton Cox Jr., Jordan Morgan. Ooh, good bull rush from
Great,
Brenton Cox.
Great
Jr.
job establishing the inside position on the hands by
Yes,
Cox.
yes.
He immediately was able to drive back. Morgan regained some composure quickly.
He did, but that initial pop was really good.
And Burton just being able to sink his hips quickly against Chris McClellan. SEC on SEC rookie prime. Right out of the gates.
Right out of the gate.
Back to the Wildcats and Tigers at an 11 a.m. kick on ESPNU. and Sean Ryan, who's been probably the least discussed during camp this year.
He has been so solid. He has really surprised me.
Just locked
really
in.
Surprised me.
And Nags taking, I thought LaFleur mentioned it, taking kind of full ownership of that room.
Oh, yeah.
As the oldest and most seasoned guy.
Oh, my goodness.
Jacob Monk gets swung
Jacob
right
Monk
over.
just got smoked. Holy Toledo.
Crumedy. Now,
he wins the second one.
Anthony Campbell has been the talk of camp.
Crumedy
But
smoked him.
that was an incredible rep. That interior of the defensive line has drawn a lot of the eyeballs this camp, I think.
Very much for good reason.
Yeah.
They were a major problem last year. They did precious little to change things, either with personnel or with the coaching staff. So, yeah, I think it's going to get talked about. Like, people are going to mention it. And we just watched Van Ness absolutely smoke Belton.
Yeah.
That was fun.
And you want to talk about the bouncing back after bad rep, bouncing back after a couple of bad practices.
Right.
This is a good time to be able to watch the development of young Anthony Belton. He's going to get more reps over here, or another one over at right tackle.
Yeah.
And I think in the offseason, you could question and guess that he would want to get back over to the tackle spot. He was a tackle coming out. I thought potentially if there would be an issue over at left tackle, maybe he would get a look over there.
But Morgan's had it on lock.
I was going to say, Jordan Morgan has not opened that up. No. The injury has allowed more look over at right tackle, and the play has probably pushed him more over there than anything.
I completely agree. I think, when you talk about the interior, at some point you got to look at these, you look at Jacob Monk getting smoked by a, let's be nice, and, a reserve defensive tackle. At what point do you call a Kevin Zeitler? At what point do you look outside the building?
Right.
Because, man, this is a team with championship aspirations, and I understand being patient. I understand letting guys develop. But at some point, you got to keep Jordan Love upright. You cannot have a repeat of what you saw last season, where everything was way too inconsistent. I think they've got close to the talent, but I don't think there's any shame in saying, okay, we were hoping these guys would improve. Now, I don't think they make any kind of move until we get through at least a couple preseason games and see live action. But, man, I'm telling you, it's going to get late real quick if they don't figure the interior out.
Do you think offensive line, as we already had some people asking us in the comments page mentioning the tight end spot, do you think offensive line would be the first that you could see a break glass in case of emergency? Running back seemed like everybody's guess earlier into preseason, but tight end injury-wise has been the one that's taken the biggest hit.
Well, it's tough. You can't even operate on offense. Like yesterday, Dabney was your tight end one. You're having a moment when that's the case. And look, I know these guys are fighting for their jobs. They're fighting for a spot on the team. I appreciate that, but it's so obvious that obviously we haven't seen Tucker out there yet, but without Josh Wiley, who had been giving them a lot of good reps all throughout last season and the start of camp this year, now you're suddenly down to a bunch of reserves trying to get stuff done with your first unit, trying to find some cohesion. Man, it's noticeable. And I think that's part of what LaFleur was talking about. Like, we're going to have to truncate some stuff because it doesn't make sense to run some of this multiple tight end stuff when we got, let's be honest, a bunch of guys out there who are most likely not even going to be on the team.
Yeah, because as much as you want to work stuff, you want to be working stuff with guys that are going to be working for you during the regular season. And right now they might not just have enough of those bodies. That position in particular, though, Nags, I think watching it, I think, inquisitive minds could guess that there would be an expanded role for that tight end room coming up this year. And I wonder how much this might stunt some of it or also open up some spots. Again, opportunity generally breeds the most availability. And you're going to see, I think, maybe more 3 and 4 wide receiver sets than they had planned on running because those are the bodies today maybe not with Golden and Reed available.
I posit you this, sir. Maybe their idea coming into this season, and I've been thinking about this quite a bit, we'll look at the rest of the league, especially when you get to the draft and so many tight ends go off the board as early as they do. We all heard about the 13 personnel last year, and teams really wanted to lean into that. Maybe the Packers zig when everyone else is zagging. Maybe their idea is we're going to run 3 and 4 wide receiver sets way more than everybody else because everyone's going to be practicing and preparing for these heavy sets. So we're going to try and get a little more spread out, a little more up-tempo, let Jordan Love cook with these wide receivers.
Yeah, and so much that we mentioned a year ago of one of the detractors of their offense was how everything crescendoed to third down, right? I remember that long Dan Orlovsky dissertation on NFL Live, which is really, really well done and articulated of if every drive is going to end or every series of downs is going to go to a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, and that's what you're building towards, you better be damn good on third down. Otherwise, your offense is going to stall, and you're going to have some of the longest drives in the league. That aggression on second down, I think, can be one way that it does. Now, it doesn't go into my RPO. I like that you run power often. You hammer the football in between the tackles.
Right.
But you also have to do what your offense does best. And right now, their best guys might be on the outside trying to find number 9.
That's what I think
it
is, right? I mean, if you're talking about Golden, you're talking about Watson, you're talking about guys you've paid who are legit the core members of your football team. That's going to be, I would think, your identity on offense, especially with Jordan Love entering. It's got to be his prime now, right? Like he's been a starter 3 years. Now he's got his guys. Tucker Kraft back in the mix. Let's cook. Like, I think that's got to be the case.
Now, I was asked and did not have an appropriate answer. I'll ask Aaron Nagler here on Training Camp Live. Friday night at Family Night, was the net drill, the corner toss net drill, the star, or did Matthew Golden's catch over the shoulder and the drop in the bucket towards the end zone just take away all of the highlights of the net drill?
Oh, I think
that's a hard one to beat.
It's the most exciting moment of Family Night. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And then, look, it's also fun to watch when the quarterback hits a net in the net drill because then the social media people go to town and everyone's talking about it, and it's a lot of fun. But what they don't show you on social media are the, 10, 12, 15 misses to get to that one. And that's no shade on any of the quarterbacks. It was the same when Brett was here. It was the same when Aaron was here. It's like you get a bunch of misses, and then you get that one hit, and then you dice it up, put it in video, put it on social media, and everyone's so excited. And you got Tucker Kraft jumping on Jordan Love's back. That's all fun, right?
Yes, 100%.
But as far as a pure adrenaline shot, it's that 52-yarder to Golden in the end zone. By the way, Javon Bullard, my guy, what are you looking at on that play? I need to know what you're looking at on that play. But
not the ball.
Not anything. I mean, I guess he thought maybe Golden was going to do an out route or something, but he stopped his feet, and it was over.
And it was cooked.
Over.
The speed is so evident. The trust, though, that Love is developing with Matthew Golden, I think, is the one that is going to be even better to be able to watch because it seems pretty locked in on their relationship and their connectivity over there. Now, Jacob Monk also doing a little snapping. We mentioned him in this offensive line.
Yes, sir.
Could you see him just being the interior number one reserve
possibly,
right out of the gates?
Very possibly. I think, honestly, if you had asked me prior to the start of camp, I would have said that's his ceiling. That's probably the best you can hope for from Jacob Monk. Now we got the Green Bay Packers out here running him with the one,
changing things
starting
up
at right guard. I
yeah.
guess it's a possibility, but yeah, I think that makes a world of sense because when they drafted him out of Duke, the idea was he could potentially be our center long term in the future. That hasn't materialized, obviously, but I want to circle back on Sean Ryan just for a second because he is kind of taking an opposite track that Anthony Belton did. Coming into camp, I thought, okay, Belton's got to show improvement in pass protection. He admitted yesterday, pass pro hasn't been good enough because it was downright awful for a long stretch the end of last year. But it was necessity. He's thrown in there because of injury. I get it. So you hope you get to camp and he kind of starts on a better foot and has had an offseason of work, but that has not materialized in any way, shape, or form. Whereas Sean Ryan has done that. He was not 100%, on lock with Jordan. They talked about that earlier this last week when he got thrown into the fire after Elton Jenkins goes down. But he has come to camp, and he has looked legit. He has looked like he has taken every moment and every opportunity to improve on the things that gave him problems last year. His pass pro in particular, it is markedly better than what we saw all throughout last season.
Yeah, and just the ability to get a contract, and still have folks on podcasts and radio shows like myself saying, well, I mean, you know, that's a basic starter level contract, right? Like, I mean,
They
you
could move off
you
of
could
that.
very much
They could
get
easily
moved
move off of that.
Yeah, 100%. You get the most security in your life, and people are already trying to cut you.
Yeah.
That's a tough
the
way to
gig.
make a living.
That's
And
the gig.
instead, to your point, I do believe he's taken it and run with it. And a third-round pick in a draft that desperately needed starters.
Yes.
Right, like you start looking back at the draft class, makes it
Yes.
look a little bit different if you can get your long-term battery mate with Jordan Love. All right, 877-794-1973, your battery up here for practice number 7 for the Green Bay Packers. Live from Ray Nitschke Field is myself, Bill Schmid, the voice of Cheeseheads Everywhere, Aaron Nagler, and Bobby Babich walking over here with a sweet camo Green Bay
He's got
hat.
aura for days.
My man is rocking
aura.
some Larry Birds right now, and by that, not shoes. That man is wearing some of the shorter shorts you're going to find out here. However, might as well do it. I mean, like, listen, I've said it a number of different times. Christian Watson walking back out of the indoor for more practice here. I look like Christian Watson, you wouldn't see me with a shirt on. I look over there, it might be a little bit different story. Instead, we are fully clothed and rocking and rolling on YouTube, X, and Facebook. If you aren't subscribed at Fox Sports Wisconsin, Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin's YouTube page, please do that. But you already need to be, and you already should be, and already are subscribed to Cheesehead TV's YouTube page. You can go and find us right there. And if you are one of the few Packers fans that's not yet subscribed to Cheesehead TV, go do that right now. And you can thank us all later, because you will enjoy Packers football so much more this year. And find out ways to be able to find some Carry the G Radio, the podcast, and some Carry the G Radio cream ale coming to a local liquor store nearest you. He's Aaron Nagler. I'm Billy Schmid. We're going to get back to some teamwork, take a break during specialists and some Indian. We're back with practice number 7 with the Pack at Ray Nitschke Field. It's Training Camp Live on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin.
Welcome back to Training Camp Live, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Let's go back to Ray Nitschke Field and rejoin the voice of the Packers, Wayne Larrivee, and Packers OT host Bill Schmid.
It is Training Camp Live alongside the voice of Cheeseheads everywhere, Aaron Nagler, joining me, Bill Schmid, today for Training Camp Live. Wayne Larrivee will rejoin the proceeding coming up tomorrow. We have joined team in action just in front of us off to the right. And Nags, apparently they listen to the show. Apparently they read the hat. Run power often is what RPO should stand for. The Packers open up this team period with running power off to the right. And the fifth-round rookie, Jagger Burton, with a beautiful pull off the right side. I've called it a number of times the most erotic play in all of sports. You got gaps being plugged. You got pulling around and men violently crashing into each other and potentially putting somebody on their backside that wears a 56 jersey.
I mean, Burton
a
absolutely
beautiful pull by
buried
Burton.
him. Buried Edgerrin Cooper on that run. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Stayed square the entire time, rolled through. Great clash off to the right side, and good cut by Josh Jacobs up the middle. This is an exciting, exciting day when you start out with power.
No,
and then it's even more exciting when you get Devontae Wyatt off to the right. It was Marshawn Lloyd,
yeah.
pardon me.
Yeah.
But now you get into play number two, a guy that we haven't had to talk about a ton, but we should, and it's good to be able to, is Devontae Wyatt getting into the backfield.
Oh, my goodness. Did he get it?
Spectacular
Jordan Love.
grab.
Deep down the right sideline.
So
Bo Melton. Look at that grab by Melton. Well done, young man.
Bo Melton a year ago stole all the headlines. He was one of the biggest talkers.
Switching to corner.
Going to corner.
That's what they
then
said.
End up playing mostly on 3rd and 8s at the wide receiver position.
Right.
Have you had much interaction, talk about it? Because a year ago it was like, if you got to find somebody that loves you as much as the Green Bay Packers love Bo Melton, because you're going to be on the football team. It doesn't seem like that kind of absolute certainty this year. However, you make plays like that, you're going to be a hard guy to cut with how many special teams he's
It's
on.
because of his teams. That's the thing. If he can give them that play, great grab down the right sideline. You know Jordan trusts him implicitly. If he can give you that from scrimmage, yeah, he's going to make the team because he is integral on special teams. So there's little doubt that it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to root him out of there if you're one of these younger guys.
It looked like that one was right over number 38, Jalen Simpson, but just a spectacular leaping catch. You almost forget that he one season for the Green Bay Packers in the entire season, he was the only guy to have a 100-yard game. And again, maybe it's not as it's supposed to celebrate Bo Melton, not supposed to take a shot at every other Packer receiver. But one thing is probably not mutually exclusive. They run that RPO and wide open against the rookie Brandon Cisse. Cutting across the middle is Christian Watson.
They've got that timing down on that play. When they get the right look, Jordan is just money. He's hit that so many times this camp.
I've mentioned it a couple of times, Nags, that when people ask me what's like the next step for Jordan Love, being a little greedy is probably, I think, the number one. Yeah. And some of that is trusting that connection. Yep. Having the connection the entire year, though, they probably are a little more symbiotic. They probably go hand in hand.
Oh, yeah.
Having your number one 6'5" big body out there consistently probably forces you to make that decision a couple more times.
100%, because you know he's most likely going to win, and or that is a perfect example of the play we just watched where it's an RPO and you got the defense flowing, and you know he's going to be where he's supposed to be. So you can hit him in the flow of the play where he's essentially in the perfect spot in the zone, and you just saw it. He just keeps running.
Yeah,
like
not
you
breaking
put the
any
ball,
kind of stride.
Like old Bill Walsh, I want it here so he doesn't have to break stride. That's exactly what Jordan Love just did.
And a phenomenal stop off to the right side for the defensive front. Looked like Zaire Franklin in the midst there, but a big physical contact at the point of attack. Not the rules of engagement, but one that the coaches will somehow be smiling at tomorrow.
Well, there was a play earlier, too, early in this kind of team portion where they blitzed Evan Williams off the edge, and that completely ruined the offensive play. I think it looked like Lloyd was a little late getting over in pass pro, but Jordan Love had no chance and shot. He had to essentially dirt it.
What about a little play action throwback to the right? Devontae Wyatt getting in there, breaking some stuff up. Denai Dennis Sutton lining up kind of all over the defensive front.
All over the front. Yeah.
That is a wrinkle I didn't anticipate. Maybe should
Not
have,
this
though.
much. Not this much.
When
right?
I saw the human.
Yeah.
Right, like the
Right.
physically imposing human that he is.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it would be too much for him to go up and down the line a little bit.
He can survive inside, especially on passing downs.
Wow.
So you're cooking, man. Let's go. Let's get him upfield, creating havoc. That first step is impressive.
That last run with the ones, Jagger Burton was lining up at left guard. They did have Jacob Monk over at center, and Donovan Jennings playing over at right guard. Jennings is a fascinating name. He kind of made the team as probably the last guy on the unit a year ago. And again, if Donovan Jennings got to be on the football team, probably not like the greatest thing for him to have to like play meaningful
I was just going to say, had a real rough summer last year, a rough preseason. I haven't seen much to change my mind on that.
But my man
summer.
getting thrown in right away with the one. Again,
know.
it almost more talks to what Anthony Bell was talking about yesterday, that he's apparently being sent off to play tackle and figure out if that's going to be the spot where he's going to play in the NFL.
Yeah, figure
now,
it out, right?
One of the other cats, though, that you and I talked a lot about on Carry the G Radio, the podcast, which you should subscribe to right now, wherever you get your podcasts, and Cheesehead TV's social pages and YouTube, where you can find it weekly. John Williams has been one of my favorite guys to watch.
Surprise at camp.
Because the seventh rounder a year ago was complete red shirt, and he has lined up and looked good at pretty much all 5 spots.
Everywhere. He was going with the twos yesterday at left tackle, and he was large and in charge, man. He looked great.
And I thought tackle coming into the year, but then day number one and the first week and a half, he's snapping the football. Definitely didn't have that on my bingo card.
Nope.
And he's off at left tackle right now with the twos as well, and just physically very much looks the part. And I think you've seen this with a number of offensive linemen throughout your time covering the Packers, Mags, of you can look the part, and then when the pads come on and you stack days, it falls apart. It almost looks like maybe he hasn't gotten completely better, but as he just has a beautiful cutoff on that left side on that run to the right, looks like he's just building upon it, which is he going to be your starter week one? No. But I feel decently confident if he has to go into the game that you're not going to get, glovered like you did in Philadelphia a couple
I'm
years
going to tell you this, and this is ridiculous, but I believe it. I have more confidence in John Williams right now than I do in Jacob Monk. Right now.
Yeah, wow.
I think Williams has had a better camp.
That's impressive stuff.
I can't. Every time he's out there, he's produced. He's done well. Nothing looks too big for him. And I certainly haven't seen him get completely smoked by backup defensive tackles. So
now, my man did just have a tough moment where he met Isaiah McDuffie. And Isaiah McDuffie's right shoulder won that.
Yeah.
Isaiah
Drove him inside.
McDuffie's right shoulder won that pull on a beautiful old GT play, right? Guard and tackle both pull from the left side, run it off to the right. One kicks out the far side defensive end. The other pulls around, gets inside linebacker. Makes a lot different when that inside linebacker is not as stout against the run as McDuffie is, right?
Truly.
And have the questions quelled for you on Isaiah McDuffie where people were a little frustrated or wondering how he gets an extension? Just a solid football player.
I totally get that extension. He's a glue guy. I think he does everything asked and has done it better and better the more opportunities he's gotten. As far as okay, yes, he struggled in coverage a couple years ago. So what did he do? He really worked at it, and he was better last year. Now, some of that is play time. He didn't have to play as much. I tell you what, he's had a really good camp. And I feel pretty darn confident that if a guy goes down and you have to put McDuffie in there, he's at least going to give you competent, serviceable play. In a way that we have seen back in the day, one guy goes down and it all falls apart because you don't have that guy.
I think you said it right. It's a testament to the work that he did, the improvement that he put forth, because very understandably so, I think a lot of people thought, well, he's Jeff Hafley's guy, Boston College guy.
Yes.
Once Jeff Hafley's gone, he might be gone.
And
instead,
they got Tyron Hopper.
They make a further investment in him, I think for good reason. And we had our friend Brandy Lewis on the chat here said McDuffie is way better as a backup than, say, Ty Summers. What's your girl Brandy?
Brandy
way back into the
Brandy. That's
machine.
a running gag because Brandy has essentially cursed Ty Summers for years, and I mean years. This goes way back. There was a game in particular down in New Orleans where Ty Summers had to come in and play extensive snaps, and it did not go well.
No,
it was not pretty. Alvin Kamara made him look silly.
Which
And
he's done to a number of players.
A number of
before.
people, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But
No.
I think that was kind of the breaking point for Brandy. And
That's
since
fair.
that game, she has had nothing but disrespect on his name and his family and his family's children and anything having to do with Ty Summers. It's unfortunate, but I understand it.
When you
I
hate
get
Ty Summers, mailman, that's when you know. That's when you know it runs deep. That's when you know
It runs deep.
It runs real deep.
Oh, my
You can
goodness.
also hit us up on the super chats, like our friend Short Change 27 Nags Bill, long time, first time. Looking forward to finally meeting you, Corey and Matt at D2. Any Rex for taking the kids to practice. Arrival time, best spot for autographs, etc. Thank you. Go Pack, go.
Well, there's a lot. You packed a lot in there, and we appreciate
a lot
the
in there.
support.
Got that super chat in there. Come on, man.
First of all, yes, D2 on Thursday night. We're having a live in-person watch
Let's
party, watching the preseason game. We're not streaming. We're not having a show. We're just hanging out, drinking some Carry the G, and watching the preseason game. It's going to be a lot of fun. But as far as, like, coming out to camp, got to get here a couple hours early.
Yes.
That
early.
10:30 start, I would get here 8:30 at the bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough with the kids because they got to be patient. There are a lot of them all vying for a bike ride, an autograph. But, yeah, most guys are accommodating, I will say. If you get on Armed Forces Drive where they go to and from practice, one or two of the guys will almost always – eventually that mix will work where they stop for most of the kids out there that want an autograph.
There will and listen, for it might be Matt Orzik, with all respect to Matt Orzik on the name, but it's Matt Orzik and Green Bay Packers.
It's a Green Bay Packers.
There will be guys there. To Nag's point of getting here early, they do a great job. Our friend Will, Mark, and Dave over here in front of us. You can also get to a spot, mark that spot, then go down over and try to get some autos. But that's the best way. Get your spot locked in and try to go on the top shelf. Try to go on the top row. You'll be able to stand up a little bit more, see everything. Little guy won't have as much, or little one won't have as many people maybe in front. Great viewing opportunity. But again, it is the most fan-friendly and affordable way to enjoy Packers football outside of following Cheesehead TV.
Oh, well, obviously. I mean,
right, like that, you're going to be able to get all the
saying.
time.
And then finding Packers OT after the game to really vent and get.
But your
frustrations
opportunity
out.
to be around the Green Bay Packers is best here at training camp. Marshawn Lloyd has been the best version of himself, most likely because he's been on the field.
I mean,
consistently
okay,
so far.
there's no wood around here
No
that
wood.
I can see, so I can't really knock it.
Are we
but
able to get off that yet, or is
No,
it just once
no.
games actually start, then we
Games
can put
start.
that to bed?
We're in October, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, Marshawn Lloyd's playing well, right?
6 or
that's
7 games, yeah.
That is it. That is the threshold. Until then, everyone's going to be thinking about it every time he touches the ball, every time his name is mentioned. All that is going to go through people's heads is, okay, so he's okay, right?
He's
okay.
okay, right?
He's
Healthy?
getting back up. He's running another play. That's it.
Because he has, you've seen it in every camp that he's been a part of the Packers, but I think this one in particular is he meets Benjamin St. Juste over on the far side at the number 1 or 2 cornerback spot with the number ones on the defensive side. Meets him onto the right. His burst is real. It is a noticeable burst through the line that if he is able to be a consistent contributor, he's going to contribute because he's just too talented not to.
So talented, and he's such an interesting counter to Josh Jacobs. The idea being we all know what Josh is. He's the battering ram. He's the workhorse. But man, having Lloyd's skill set as your kind of change up is really exciting. Really exciting. If he can
just stay on the field. Just stay on the field. Packers offense gets to stay on the field because of a offside on the defensive side.
Offside.
Matt LaFleur will like that a lot more because there were far too many false starts on Friday
Way
night.
too many false starts on Friday night. All right, interesting. ZBB is still out there at right tackle.
I was going to say getting an extended run during
More run
team
today
over
than yesterday.
at right tackle.
Absolutely. Love
And
to see that.
he might be the most. Micah Parsons coming off injury, absolutely most important. Number 1B would be Zach Tom.
1,000,000,000%
because of
correct.
the injury, Nags, right?
Yeah.
It's not, again, I'm not trying to make light of an ACL injury,
No,
but you
of course
see
not.
it every single week pretty much. And the consistency, the medicine has gotten so good. You talk patella tear with 300-plus pounds, that's a tough deal to be coming back
not enjoyable, for sure.
And
For
Sky
sure.
Moore with a nice reception off to the left side. He's an intriguing offensive player, intriguing potential
What
piece
is
on offense.
so interesting about Sky Moore, and I asked Adam Stenovich this last week because you think you see stuff, but you don't know. We don't have film to go back to.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that looks a lot like the stuff they ran with Tyler Ervin. So I asked Steno, I was like, is he doing like some of the Tyler Ervin stuff? He's immediately, oh yeah, 100%. So it's interesting because, man, when they were cooking in 2020, especially early on with the Tyler Ervin motion stuff,
part of the offense.
like it would be interesting to see if they get back to some of that with Sky Moore. I think there's an opportunity there.
Yeah, and you're talking about a guy that's got, I mean, not full, pelts on the wall as an offensive player. Well, the second-round pick is a wide receiver for a reason.
Upside,
caught a touchdown in a Super Bowl, albeit ran the wrong route. But still caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and that kind of experience is you can't just fake it, or it's difficult to replicate. Good to be able to get more reps here for Jagger Burton on that left guard spot. Now, Matt LaFleur did say, I can't remember if it was on Monday or last week, about Aaron Banks when asked, at some point, do you need your number one guys in there to build that camaraderie, that cohesiveness? And yeah, it's nice for the operation to have everyone out there. It's nice to have everyone out there. So would wonder if push would come to shove sooner rather than later on that. But Burton is making no reason to take him out of the lineup on a day in and day out basis.
He's playing so well. And it's interesting. Look, I wish we could turn this camera around and show people, but then the Packers would send a drone strike to us.
Yeah,
and
we'd be out.
I'd have to explain to my children that I can't come home because I'm dead. So we're not going to do that. But right over here is Aaron Banks, all on his own, in pads, working with, talking to a trainer. Now he's doing some pass sets and doing an explosive drill, getting off the line, etc. How much longer?
Yeah.
What the load management is going to last how long?
Well, and it's also difficult when it's in the trainer's hands, as Matt.
Yeah, I mean, you got
when the trainers tell me,
the staff has got to be just frustrated.
Yeah, because at some point you'd want some cleaner answers. Then it's when they tell me so. But
yeah,
the science is the science, Nags, and it's one that you are ultimately going to be watching and trying to study. And I do think it's going to come sooner rather than later that you're going to start rolling with a group. And if you're not
out there and playing together,
and if you're not a part of it, you're going to have to get in where you fit in.
Especially when these preseason games starts. If they get Monk and Burton out there and they're gelling and they're looking good, and you get to another week of practice, you get to that joint practice, right? And you're still load managing or doing whatever you're doing with Aaron Banks. Look, it'd be real tough to say, oh yeah, that's our really expensive backup. But if they're playing well together, why would you break it up?
And I agree. I don't know why you would. And I think we've seen him kind of do it before. Quick throwback and a wide open is Bo Melton. Hung it up there just a tick too long, but he gets into the end zone.
Found him eventually.
Finally.
I don't know what was going on in the backfield.
There was a big throwback. Now, not the same reverse style where Jordan Love almost tore both groins.
Where he did the splits?
Where he did the full splits. And I said, why don't we take that play
and
put it in the drawer,
yeah,
light that drawer on fire, and then never go back to the desk. Then put that desk on Facebook Marketplace and let somebody try to refurbish it. That one works out a little bit better.
A little better.
We like that one a lot more. All right. We love being able to broadcast to you live from Ray Nitschke Field. He's Aaron Nagler. I'm Billy Schmid. It's Training Camp Live. We got a lot more right after this.
presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Let's go back to Ray Nitschke Field and rejoin the voice of the Packers, Wayne Larrivee, and Packers OT host Bill Schmid.
Alongside Aaron Nagler, it's Training Camp Live. I'm Bill Schmid on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
God, that music's great.
What do you think?
That
yes,
music's great.
it is pretty solid, isn't it? It might be a little bit better than the hold music during the break for all those on Cheesehead TV enjoying it with us for the first time. We appreciate you battling through us. We believe that all of our technical demons are ironed out, potentially, but we'll see. Because you know what? It's training camp, and just like the Green Bay Packers are out here, Nags, we're working on stuff.
You're working on it.
We got to get to midseason form. Packers right now, not in full midseason form, lining up ones-on-ones. But I know a lot of people would be excited to know that Keyshawn Nixon is back out there with the ones as the ball goes over to him.
Such a troll.
Intended for Savion Williams.
I will say, they have once again, we did wonder. We saw yesterday with the rotation with the ones at corner. Keyshawn has been rotating yet again. Yes, he is out there now, but he has also been out with the twos.
Yes.
Again, like yesterday. So that the competition at corner is joined, has begun because – man, St. Juice looks pretty decent, and Cisse absolutely looks the part.
Yeah,
so
Cisse looks the part of an NFL starter.
Yes.
St. Juice has been, I don't know about you, Nags, a little bit of a welcome surprise. Did I think that he could play? Yes. Did I think he was NFL number 1 or 2 starter? No.
Well, especially because last year, what did he play? Like 43%.
I was going to say he was a part-time guy for the Chargers.
A guy who played really well.
I was just going to say, but was best in his role.
Yes.
Much similar to, I mean, we'll talk about it in baseball, of a platoon player, very, very good hitting against lefties. You play him every single day, and you got to hit against right-handers.
Right.
All of a sudden, that average goes down to 230.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on.
I think that's the same with St. Juiced, but Cisse has forced everyone's hand because he's been kind of undeniable.
Legit. Just absolutely legit right out of the gate. Like, there is no part of his game that I feel nervous about. Like, is he going to get beat sometimes? Yeah, because everyone does, right?
Yeah, and
but
right on cue.
He looks, yeah.
Right on cue with a beautiful defensive one to Christian Watson.
Yeah.
And I think they've done a great job of testing him throughout,
Oh,
right?
Totally agree.
I mean, not that every ball is going in the direction of number 2, but a large portion of them, especially when he's head up on Christian Watson, more times than not, the ball's going that way.
And he's been on Watson a lot in camp.
Yes.
A lot, and that's great, man. Get the kid all that experience with a really good NFL wide receiver. Yes, please give me more of that.
So they're without Javon Bullard here today and seeing a little bit more of Keaton Oladapo. What do you think of 27? Because, again, there's forgotten guys on the roster.
Right.
I feel like right now Carl Brooks has been one of the forgotten guys as a very strong hand catch there by Savion Williams right in front of Cisse.
Yeah.
Big physical catch there in this 2-minute as the Packers get it down near the 40-ish yard line.
We clocked the ball. We've clocked the ball.
Clock it with 17 seconds. Plenty of time still here to go.
A lot of ball game left.
Colin Oliver getting in here with the number 1 defense as he tries to rush the passer a little bit.
He's showing a little juice. He's showing a little bend.
He's shown a little bit of what the internet was telling me last year. Because I'll be honest with you, Nanks, I didn't buy into the Baby Micah thing.
Baby Micah?
I laughed quite a bit
here's
at it.
the issue, right? Like, that's all good. Very excited about it. And if it's third and obvious passing down, great. I don't want this man anywhere near the field on first down, though.
Sure, yeah, 100%.
That would be the issue. So it's going to be, and this would be the type of area that you could see him excelling in at end of game or end of half. Obvious offense is trying to work the ball downfield, pass the ball, let him cook, let him get out there.
Tons of it and throws it off to your boy Drake Dabney as the number 1 tight end with the Green Bay Packers.
Your boy
What?
Drake Dabney.
He's got a Green Bay Packers helmet on.
Exist.
Cheesehead TV supports Green Bay Packers
legend.
everywhere.
Packers legend.
Thank you.
Drake Dabney.
Well, all right. I mean, my poor man gets put in the 49 jersey. You can't expect much.
Yeah.
Like that is one of those uniforms that you hand out because you have
maybe it's the
you
number.
have 90-some
Maybe it is the number because he is good.
Partially.
He is good for a drop every single practice. Every one of them.
Yeah.
Like without fail, he has a drop.
Yeah, in Nags, numbers are a real thing.
At least he's consistent.
Like my boy Mark Perry over here. From Rancho Cucamonga.
Oh, my goodness.
Going to be tough when they put you in the 41.
The
like
41
that's going to be a tough one
well,
to stand out. Now they throw you in 22 like Pierre Strong. They're expecting some things, and he's the break glass in case of emergency back there off to the left side. Strong is going to be an interesting one. You're going to see a lot of him on Thursday night, I would assume.
Oh yeah,
I see a lot of Pierre Strong on Thursday night. I think he's a part of the group because of the lack of numbers they have, but I think you do a lot worse from what we've seen so far.
I mean, they're going to rotate a lot of those guys in the offensive backfield throughout the preseason, most likely. Fascinated to see, who gets the bulk of the carries. Because I can't imagine a world where they're like, yeah, let's make sure Marshawn Lloyd gets a ton of carries in the preseason.
Load him up with
Maybe
15 to 20
a
touches.
bit of
Yeah.
a look here or there, but yeah, it's hard to believe that would be the plan going in.
Well, Jordan Love checking out an iPad after that sequence on 2 Minute. He is on Cheesehead TV's YouTube page, liking and subscribing and enjoying Training Camp Live. You can enjoy it right there. Here, you can also do it on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin's YouTube page, as well as X, Facebook, the iHeartRadio app, and once again, Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin 920 and 1070 AM in Madison. Hour number 2 will return with my main man Aaron Nagler to my right. I'm Bill Schmid. We're live from Ray Nitschke Field. It's training camp practice number 10, public practice number 7. You're hearing it right here on Training Camp Live.
Football season is here.
Shotgun snap to Lovey, bobbles for a moment, now lofts it. Right side of the end zone, Watson, leaping grab. Oh, sensational touchdown catch!
Packers training camp is underway in Green Bay, and nobody is bringing you closer to the action than us.
We are enjoying some special teams work, some individual drills right now for the offense and defensive linemen, DBs in front of us.
All of the storylines, all of the emerging stars, and all of the big plays out of camp. Analyzed by two guys who know Packers football inside and out.
Quarterbacks at this time of year, veteran quarterbacks especially, they'll be trying throws here that they wouldn't try elsewhere.
Training camp coverage on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Now, live from the perch above Ray Nitschke Field, with the voice of the Packers, Wayne Larrivee.
And the Packers deliver the dagger.
Here is Packers OT host, Bill Schmid.
As we join you for hour number 2 of Training Camp Live, myself, Bill Schmid of Packers OT, alongside the voice of Cheesehead TV, the man that brings you Packers Daily, Packers Transplants, not the one wearing the sweet receiver gloves. He is Aaron Nagler of Cheesehead TV, in the flesh, on the perch. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you being here again for hour number 2.
Appreciate you having me. This is phenomenal. I love it. We got the offensive line right in front of us, just as the good Lord intended. We got to see how they're going to improve along that offensive front, Billy.
It's nothing better, and they understand why and where we are. They know that we want to see the big boys playing, and we want to see how Luke Butkus' squad is able to go above what they were a year ago, and not only just the personnel. Luke Butkus getting in a full day's work, because my man is absolutely drenched in that Packers hoodie. You did see, as our friend Strawlev mentioned here, superstars signing autographs. Yes, we did ruin the value of a super sweet sign that was shown to us. Some Packers fans, some Cheeseheads coming from Texas all the way to Lambeau, 1,300 miles to be here watching some Green Bay Packers training camp football at Ray Nitschke Field. Nothing beats it. And nothing beats it. Is unparalleled, the dedication of Packers fans. What you guys do has allowed more and more people who are joining us here. We have people watching us internationally, all over the country, enjoying what otherwise is a regional sport on a very national level. And I'm excited to be able to bring people alongside, thanks to Potawatomi Sportsbook for presenting it, because there's too much activity, too many Packers fans all over the place that would love to be able to make that pilgrimage, but we're able to do it so you don't have to and don't have to take off of work.
And what I love is through the magic of the internet, we've got people super chatting us play suggestions.
Yes.
We've got Cheeto saying annexation of Puerto Rico. Let's go. A classic play. Let's put it in the playbook.
Throw it in the playbook and make sure you're running it on the first series of the homestand for Akron football. Did you see that story, Nags?
How amazing is that?
Is that not the best thing a MAC school has ever done? Akron football put out for season ticket holders. You'll be into a random drawing to script the first drive. The opening drive of the home opener.
What? That's absolutely amazing. I wanted to ask LaFleur about that. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm 100%. Hi, how do you feel? How do you feel about one lucky fan getting to do the openers in Minnesota?
That would just be the greatest thing in the world. To see how quickly he would turn. You know what, though? I think he actually might have some fun with it.
No, he wouldn't.
No, he wouldn't.
No, he wouldn't.
No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't.
he wouldn't.
He would like that question more than the Guardian cap conversation.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
He'd like that one better.
Okay, can we – all right, well, no, that's too inside baseball. I'm not going to go on that rant.
The Guardian caps do look good.
They look great.
They look good. Sean Ryan's got one on right here, and you would not realize that he does not that he has it over the top of his normal helmet. They're running a 3-man pass rush, which is one of the best drills to be able to do if you're a high school football coach, a youth football coach. This can be 1-on-3. You work your deep set to the right, deep set to the left, come back for a bull rush in the middle. Or that one just go right, center, left, move it through, and then the last guy makes a move, hits a rush. You have to be able to counter and change your balance for it. Ryan has looked phenomenal so far in camp, and Jordan Morgan right to his left as well. Not having to talk about the left tackle, that's one of the most important positions on the football team.
Absolutely.
They're trying to replace it. I was asked earlier today, Nags, the biggest departure from the Packers from 25 to 26.
Right.
We're expecting better performance from Morgan, but I had to mention Rasheed Walker because he played so much ball. Availability is a difficult thing to just push aside flippantly.
Truly, but you would think if you're playing better for a good stretch, you would maybe get the job. I thought last summer Morgan was the better player. You know, now that door was only open because Walker got injured.
Yes.
But he's certainly shown here through the first half plus of camp, like they've got their left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I get that it's still early, but there's nothing that looks too big for him. Certainly going to be interesting once the work gets live, but man, he's looked the part 100%, I think, as they expected. They did select him in the first round as a tackle who had played a ton of left tackle in college. What a surprise, Billy.
That he's going to play left
he
tackle.
Looks pretty good at
stunning.
left tackle.
Stunning. But it is like in the world that we always want to move and reposition players and positional versatility seemingly is king, the more you can do, people always think the better. And it does appear like you look at different camps. We mentioned it with Anthony Belton a couple of times earlier today. Now playing off to the right side. It feels like they have maybe toned down the let's stress as much versatility up front as possible into let's get a handle on one spot
on the rolls,
and then build something
from
over,
there.
right? Then build from a good, steady base, then ask for more instead of just throwing so much through a fire hose that it's difficult to catch up.
Let's hope so, man, because last year I can't go through that again. We can't be doing that. It was hard to watch at times last year. And I do think, yes, we all know this team will only go as far. It can still be a top 10 offense with poor offensive line play. We saw that last year.
Mm-hmm.
You give Jordan Love time, you give him a good offensive line, or at least an offensive line that is way more consistent, he'll just destroy people. He'll pick people apart. So that's why it's like every day people probably get a little tired of hearing about the offensive line because there is a lot to talk about as far as who's playing where,
For sure.
what are the moves that they're making there, who is kind of rising, falling, etc. But it is the aspect that will have probably the biggest determining factor as far as if they are, again, limping into the playoffs, maybe a wild card exit, or are they making a deep run? Are they able to push for a championship because they're better up front? And that's on both sides, obviously, but really on the offensive side.
Yeah, both sides is very, very pertinent, and we're seeing Javon Hargrave walking over to us. He's one of the guys that's brought in to amp up the defensive line room, but I think some of their youth as well is hopefully where you get some of that improvement. And we've seen some early signs of life from that room, and now being able to see Devontae Wyatt back into team drills, that's a very, very welcomed addition because Wyatt was so impactful a year ago, Nags, and it almost got missed once he was out after Thanksgiving. You're like, whoa, they don't have any real push. Well, they don't have that combination that feels like Parsons doesn't have to go up against a double team every single rep.
Yep.
And it was really, really evident later into the year of just how good he had gotten.
Or Parsons was getting a double team and Wyatt was taking advantage of the fact that there's no attention being paid inside. I mean, so many plays, the Detroit game in Lambeau, the Vikings game in Lambeau, where he's just wrecking shop in the middle because they're so worried about Micah Parsons. So, I think he took advantage of those opportunities. You saw how it fell apart without him, especially along the interior. Man, great to have him back out there. Another guy on the defensive front, we got Braden in the super chat here talking about, I tell you what, Baron Sorrell can make his mark in the league, especially week 1 through 6 before Micah returns. I was really impressed with technique at family night. How have y'all seen Baron progress? We talked about it a little bit at the top of the show, but he's had a very promising camp. I do think there were minimal flashes last year. He has really hit the ground running in year 2, and you hear it all the time. Biggest jump a guy can make oftentimes is between year 1 and year 2. It looks like he has made a jump, and I don't know to what level. That remains to be seen, but, man, he looks absolutely legit. And to Barron's point, they're going to need him early.
Yeah.
You're going to need him. But what I've loved, he's got some juice. He's got some ability around the edge. But, man, he is a physical presence in the run game. That is, I'm not going to say totally unexpected, but it is a bit surprising. I think he's played a lot better in that aspect of the game than I was expecting him to.
Yeah, and I think complementary to what they see on the other side, Van Ness's strongest trait in the NFL has been his play against the run.
Yes. Right.
And if Sorrell is able to match that, especially early downs that they're going to be on the field together for those first couple of weeks, I feel pretty confident in that one as well. I also, though, and you've seen Sorrell be able to absolutely, you take the leap from year 1 to year 2. Seems like he is really growing into his NFL body. And does that mean that that the weight program for the Green Bay Packers is so much better than the Texas Longhorns? Probably it's not, right? It probably
Well, it's just
different.
Time on task.
It's time on task. It's understanding what the NFL demands out of you at that position. And, there's something, too. I don't know if it's very quantifiable. He could probably tell you what he's been able to pull from it. Working alongside Micah Parsons in the offseason with his trainer and having that cohesion and truly already feeling like you're a part of something, that's a connected part that is tough to put a number on. Also, the year 1 to year 2 jump. You know the system better. You understand the NFL, sure. You then do get a real offseason.
Yes.
Because instead of training to try and cut down 0.4 of a second on your 40-yard dash, you're actually working on get-offs and explosion and counters. You're able to work on football stuff instead of training for a job interview.
Yes, and it's all the difference. It's all the difference. Again, time on task. What are you working on? You are working on football rather than athleticism, explosiveness, trying to get the highest draft stock possible. It's noticeable how much he has hit the ground running and just come in as a player who's really primed to help early and often in the 2026 season. We also have a former Cheesehead TV contributor, now pilot extraordinaire.
Wow.
We got Tyler up in here saying on a scale
What's up, Maverick?
On a scale of 2005 Mike Sherman to he'll be out there week 1 versus Jettas. How cooked is Nixon's starting job? Lots of rotating. I'll swipe up and listen. So Nags, I want to get your viewpoint on it because I don't know that anything has been decided for anyone yet. Nope.
We're very far away from them playing a real game. We're still over
Correct.
a month away from them playing a game. As much as you're mixing and matching and getting certain guys with certain groups right now, I would be stunned if that job in the cornerback room doesn't get traded back and forth before we go to Minnesota.
I will say this. What is interesting to me is the timing of this because you don't have to look past family night to watch Nixon getting cooked repeatedly and maybe not the greatest effort on some of those plays.
Yeah.
So maybe this is the staff saying, hey, no. This is a competition.
Right.
Nothing is given to you. I think these last 2 days, today and yesterday, is the start of that. The idea that, Keyshawn, this is not bequeathed to you. This is not a sure thing.
Great word choice.
This is, you've got to work for it.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he responds. Seems to be taking it well. But I do think this is in response to, I think he's had a decent camp up until probably Friday night. But Friday night, it was tough to watch at times.
Yeah.
So maybe the staff is trying to send a message and say, look, this is not – you have to play to the standard.
Competition is a good thing for everybody.
Absolutely.
Competition brings the best out of people. I don't know that when they brought in Benjamin St. Juste, it was with the 1,000% certainty that he would provide legit competition.
Oh, no. I mean, that's a special teams contract.
Right, that's a special teams contract.
You expect to contribute rotationally or be a depth piece and contribute mightily on special teams. But it wasn't come in here and win a job.
And wasn't that the same? And it's the same type of contract that Keyshawn Nixon got when he first came.
Correct.
Right. So like that part of it, at least there is that, real life example of, hey, we've done this before. We've done this before. We'll do it again. That being said, ball caught just in front of Benjamin St. Juste.
Also
by Christian Watson.
On what route? What route was it, Billy?
Quick out.
An out. Man, you know how Aaron Rodgers had the deep comeback, that 15-yarder, absolute money with Greg Jennings.
It was
like
over.
He knew
Right
it was
when
over.
it started.
The timing was just perfect. That is Jordan Love on the out route, man. He is phenomenal.
Well,
at that throw.
And it really does showcase the velocity at which he can throw the football because that's not a short throw.
No, that's
especially
the other thing.
When you're talking about
far
number, far hash.
1,000,000,000%.
That's a distance throw, and he's able to make it extremely quick. He almost caught Sky Moore on a sweet wheel route right there. Just left it out there a little bit out in front. Now, the injuries at the tight end spot, obvious. Tucker Kraft, not with the jersey on at this point. He's just been running as the net for the majority of the day once the quarterbacks got into their individual drills. So you're seeing a lot of tight ends. You are seeing Drake Dabney with the ones here. Now he motions on in, but a lot of varying looks on the outside.
Yeah, we had a pro set there for a second. Oh, no, we're back to it. In the gun, though. I need Love under center in a pro set. That's what I'm living
Now,
for.
as somebody that has been calling for more Jordan Love under center, you have to have been in love with what you've seen so far this game.
Been a lot of it.
A lot of under center looks for number 10.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think some of that is just listening and starting to give in on the harassment that he's getting online from you, or is some of it just – or is some of it, the one that we almost forget about a year ago, hitting the hand on the helmet and Jordan's thumb
that was
being
a big
messed
part of
up
it. People forget, too. I mean, that's a big part of it as far as being able to get under center, take that snap. It's a violent action, like repeatedly you don't want that happening, so you do put him in gun a bunch. But funny that they're running guns, nothing but gun stuff right now. But hey, I like him under center. I like the ability that it gives him on some of the play action stuff, though. There was a play, I want to say 3-4 practices ago, where I think it was the very first play of teams. He under center, play action. Oh, yeah, he whips around. Jordan Love ready to cook, and the Keyshawn Nixon was in his face.
Waiting for him.
If it would have been a game, he would have obliterated him. So that's the danger. You turn your back on the defense. You don't know what's happening until you whip that head back around. Could be anything.
And there has been a lot of pressure up the gut, a lot of pressure coming, manufactured pressure from linebackers throughout camp as well. We saw with that first grouping, the offensive line being pretty consistent with what we've seen. Jagger Burton over at left guard, as well as right guard being held down by Jacob Monk here today. Packers are without a number of different guys on the offensive side. Josh Jacobs out today, so is Jaden Reed and Matthew Golden. So a lot of Savion Williams, who was kind of the star of yesterday's practice, Nags, that you were able to take in.
Yeah.
But Christian Watson has gotten a ton of looks. So has J. Michael Sturdivant, who's out there right now. They gave him some money during the post-draft process to be an undrafted wide receiver. Him and Isaiah Nair are together onto the tight right side of that formation of the errant pass from Kyle McCord we just watched. But both of those dudes are going to play extensively during the preseason.
Oh, yeah.
Them, maybe you could put Will Shepard, but it feels like those two.
Oh, they're the two.
They're the two. Might be battling for one job on the P squad, maybe two. Can you see that job opening up another spot onto that extension of the roster?
I think they both have practice squad written all over them. I think Nayor, it's undeniable, the circus catches, the amazing plays he's made. He's made like 2 or 3 of them already in camp. That's undeniable, but it's more than that, right? It takes more than that to get on the practice squad, let alone the 53. I don't doubt for a moment that preseason will sort most of this out, right?
Mm-hmm.
It almost always does. I think both of them have practice squad written all over them. Will Shepard's the one where I think that's good. It's going to be tough to maybe justify keeping those 3 on practice squad. Although, man, he does have one of the catches at camp on that bomb
big time
from Tyrod Taylor last week. I mean, where he laid out for it in end of game drill. That was an amazing catch. So that's something that maybe gets him an opportunity or 2 more than he was getting. But, yeah, right now I think those 2 seem destined to the practice squad to me.
Yeah, and Shepard just had a very nice leaping catch over a defender here in the team portion that we're seeing here. I liked him coming out of Colorado, liked him last year in the limited role that he got. But that's a tough room to crack.
Tough room.
It is maybe the toughest room on the football team to make when you're looking at just the lack of spots available. I wanted to also ask you, as we've mentioned it before, the game will be coming up on Thursday night. You'll hear it on the Packers Radio Network, Packers and Steelers. Sounded to me, if I'm reading in between the lines, listen, I wasn't a very good reader. I read at a very low comprehension level.
I hear you.
Felt like the Packers are going to be playing some guys coming up on Thursday night.
I got to agree. I think especially, with wanting everything he's talking about, he being LaFleur, regarding cohesion and trying to get the operation together up front. I think, and look, combine that with people I think have kind of memory hold, unless you're a monster Packers nerd like myself. ZBB, back in minicamp, said, I want to play in the preseason.
Yeah.
I want to be out there just because it's real football. Like, yes, it's not quite as intense as the regular season, but it's live action, which we don't get in camp. And, there's one joint practices at the end of camp. He wants some live work. I'm fascinated to see if he's out there on Thursday night with Jordan Love, with the majority of the ones out front, just because they got to get some work in. They got to get some actual football played under their belt before they kick off the season.
And it's the tough thing that certain ones are intertwined with each other, right? Like, Jordan Love's not going to play behind your number 2 and 3 offensive line.
No.
Zach Bacco-Boelli, caught myself.
Well done.
He's probably not going to play with checks, notes, make sure that I don't disrespect. Let's go with Dylan Wade, right?
Yeah,
like
most likely not.
Most likely not going to be lining up there. So you don't want him to be a wasted rep, right?
No,
if he's going to be out there for 15 plays, you want it to be with guys that you're going to line up again or with for the majority of the season. So if you're going to play some, you might as well play all. If you're only going to play some and you don't want to play a certain amount, then you might as well not play any. And looking at the whole calendar, initially, you're like, well, why on earth would you play a legit month before you play an actual game? But it all lines up pretty well that you'd get the joint practice right in the middle of it. Matt even said today with the joint practice on a Wednesday, most likely not playing on that Friday. You'll get everybody out for warm-ups, tip the cap to the crowd in the final home preseason game. But if you're going to play in the preseason, it makes the most sense for it to be Thursday night in Pittsburgh.
I couldn't agree more. But, we'll see. Like, look, just have a series or two and just, knock the rust off a little bit. Let Jordan Love throw a few, get that pass pro.
Well, and the other thing is you've had two of the most polar opposites you could for a training camp. If I'm not mistaken, it was the 24 preseason where Love plays the game against Cleveland. Right. In the first series, he throws a 65-yard touchdown to Dontavian Wicks.
Yep.
Don't see him until the end. And it's wraps. Last year, they play against the Jets. And
he busts up his thumb.
He busts up his thumb, and it's a brutal performance. I think 1 of 5, and the offense didn't move the ball at all. And then it's like, all right, we'll see you in the regular season. So you only get one crack at it. Yeah. The results isn't the most important thing, but the work and how clean the operation is extremely important.
Well, and just what you can learn from it. Like Matt talked about that regarding family night, how sloppy it was. You got to learn from it, right? And if you come out and you're 1 for 5 and you don't score, that's fine. The results do not matter at all. I mean, this is a hill I'll die on. Like, people get so obsessed. We had people on the Cheesehead TV happy hour last year wailing, gnashing of teeth because we looked so bad against the Jets in the first preseason game. That just doesn't matter. None of that matters. Like, the ability to work from that tape and work on the things that you struggled with, that's important.
Yeah.
But this idea like, we lost a preseason, it doesn't matter in any way, shape, or form. The results do not matter.
They couldn't matter less. The results right now of this team period going to matter an absolute ton for the Green Bay Packers as the one's going to get back up on the field right now. We're going to rip through some more super chats as we roll through, like our friend William just dropping us one. William James 648. Does it seem like Love is more crisp this camp?
Yes. I think part of it is because he's been healthy.
Yes.
Part of it is because of what he talked about regarding working on his footwork, working on his base. He's throwing from a better base more often. That doesn't mean it's every single rep, but he's certainly throwing from the ground up, as Rodgers always used to say, and it has resulted in a little bit more kind of zip on the ball, and he certainly has a total command of the offense. So, I think he does look a little crisper.
So the Packers team period right now. I want to talk to the folks back in our network studio. Can we cut that music? Because I don't know if the commercials are working or not working. We're going to roll here during this team portion. So I don't know that we want the background music rolling here for the next couple of minutes, at least when the number one offense is firing us up here off to the right-hand side. This is the one. This is the one to be here for, and this is the one to not miss anything on. Baron Sorrell was a big part of the conversation earlier. He lines up there to the left, right head up on Zach Bacco-Boelli, who's back out there for more team. Love to see 50 into the set.
He's taken all the 1 reps today.
Yeah, all the 1 reps during team.
They haven't rotated him like they were yesterday.
And Marshawn Lloyd gets a nice little pop from the crowd as he bounces back up after slipping and falling.
The whole place holding his breath.
Everybody instantly takes a deep breath and calms themselves down. This is definitely the longest practice of camp, Nags. LaFleur was not lying when he mentioned this is going to be the high day, trying to fight through some of the fatigue and fight through the issues. This is exactly what you're talking about. You can't manufacture a full 2-hour practice. You got to be out there for one, and Sky Moore coming across that formation as the Packers utilize Christian Watson to the left. And instantly into the backfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mustard is off the hot dog.
Nazir Stackhouse breaking through the line.
Nazir would have murdered the man. That would have been sending flowers to the family. My goodness.
Gets some love instantly from the hype man Bobby Babich, and then gets run off of the field as an offensive line coach in celebration of that play, because that was a right now break through the line by Stackhouse.
My goodness, that was excellent. Excellent stuff. Now, you flip it around. I don't know, boys, up front, what are we doing? We got to run the ball better this year. That is not what we want to see.
Yeah, got a slight misassignment there is going to frustrate a lot. Keaton Oladapo breaks one up. Keaton
Catan
Oladapo.
Yes, sir.
We had mentioned this with Drew Olson a couple of days ago. He is in a precarious spot because you're kind of the backup for a 3 safety look.
Right.
But again, in the work on teams that Oladapo does and did a year ago, got much better throughout the season.
Absolutely.
Much better throughout the season. When he was drafted, that size looks at hybrid safety, sure, mostly special teams ace.
Yes, zero doubt. And I think he's made the most of that opportunity. But I'll tell you what, speaking of opportunities, the fact that Bullard's missing practice and he's playing that Bullard role, this is gold for Oladapo. Let's just get these banked reps with the ones and show what he can do. You know, he hasn't been called upon because they've been good at safety and they've had, guys who've stayed relatively healthy. I think the most run he's gotten is like a late game kind of run against the Bears 2 years ago where the game didn't matter, blah, blah, blah. But the fact that he's been in your program as long as he has, and he's the first man up if one of those guys goes down, you got to feel pretty good about it. When you're like running 4 deep at safety with a guy who, again, has been in your program for a number of years and is such a stalwart on special teams, it's like we were talking about Isaiah McDuffie. It's the same kind of thing, right, where you can count on him. You know you're going to at least get consistent high-level play. Maybe not all-star, maybe not all-pro. I'm not talking he's going to be a future Hall of Famer, but you can, if your guy goes down, you can put him in there and know that the defense is not going to completely fall apart.
Secondary.
Shout out Ty Summers.
Yeah, right. not have Brady Lewis losing her mind on somebody, invited somebody on the hit list. This Packers defense, the secondary, has had a nice showing here so far.
Yes.
In this series as a couple of big breakups. Another guy who we've talked a little bit about, 3rd-round pick, Chris McClellan, has had a nice practice here today.
Oh, yes, he
has been involved and been running with the ones almost exclusively during this practice. That ball to the corner of the end zone was caught for a touchdown. I believe that's Sky Moore.
Is that Moore? That was a beautiful throw from Love.
Just onto the corner pylon, Moore dives and makes a spectacular grab there into the corner. He's running with that football all the way back to the huddle.
He's going to keep that.
He's saying, let everybody know I got that one. Let everybody know I got one over here. Packers working some red zone on the far side of the field here. And it is a lot of Jordan Love, a lot of Christian Watson. And that being the main pairing, those two as the number 1 guys.
That throw is a perfect example of what we were talking about when William James talks about, has he looked crisper, has he looked sharper. Man, the footwork there, the base that he throws from there, perfect. Like teach tape. That's the kind of stuff where maybe last year, the last couple of years, he's thrown a fadeaway. He's off his back foot kind of thing. Like, it's noticeable. It's very, very noticeable when he's throwing from a base and getting a little bit more power and touch on the football. Like, that certainly is noticeable.
Has Evan Williams gotten the requisite shine that you believe he should get? Because he's been, maybe not a play a day, but he's been all over the field.
He doesn't, because he's not coming up with footballs. He's not making, big splash turnover plays. But, man, you can see the way they're utilizing him in Gannon's defense. He has been, like you said, all over the place, both deep, up on the line, rushing the quarterback quite a bit. I think that is going to be a major kind of arrow in their quiver this year as far as not just safeties, but the secondary in general. I have seen more secondary pressure calls in this camp through 10 practices or whatever than I think I've seen in Green Bay in a decade.
Now,
they are utilizing the secondary when it comes to pressuring the quarterback.
And you've seen everybody doing it, right? It hasn't just been
exactly.
one corner. It hasn't just been one safety in a specific look.
I will say, though, Evans' timing is sublime. Like, as far as being able to
you're right.
kind of match up the cadence and know when the snap is coming so he can hit the line with a head of steam. That's really impressive work.
And something on the timing that we've also made mention of the first couple of weeks of practice, first couple of days extensively, was how much Edrin Cooper was lining up on the line of scrimmage, dropping out. That has not changed.
Nope.
But we did see a couple of different times, especially in the last 2 team periods ago, Zaire Franklin being the pressure man a couple of different times.
Yeah.
And that almost seemed to be forgotten about. You just focused on how is he going to improve in pass coverage, how is he going to be able to take that club in his bag to a different level. Instead, rush the passer with that kind of stout body and stout frame. You can get home, it all works the same.
You know what I love about Zaire? Pretty much everything. But what I really love here at camp is I want to say every single one, but so many times after practice, he just goes through a couple more reps with one of the coaching staff as far as his drops go, as far as what his footwork's supposed to be, what his drop is, what his responsibility is in certain coverages. Because we know, I mean, if you read anything in coverage of the NFL as far as his season last year, he struggled in coverage. You know, it was a sore point of his game. Got to think that is something he, much like we talked about with Isaiah McDuffie, he wants to work on that and make sure that isn't kind of a easy way for offenses to attack the Packers defense. He's doing everything he can, to my eyes, to make sure that he's better in that regard.
I loved listening to him with John Kuhn after practice on Friday night. You always want to get a new perspective of family night, and to get somebody that hasn't seen it before,
so great
to enjoy it,
great.
and obviously somebody with a family of his own to be able to enjoy that. That was phenomenal. The trot out with the kids, great decision by the Packers.
Yeah.
Great move on family night.
So good.
You look for those moments, special seasons, made of special stories. That's a special one to have. Kyron Drones against Kyle McCord. That will be the special story of the preseason. We'll discuss some of that, but more of players on the normal 53 when we return. He's Aaron Nagler. I'm Billy Schmid, live from the perch at Ray Nitschke Field, presented by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin and Cheesehead TV. It's Training Camp Live.
Today's practice in Packers training camp is underway, and we're bringing all of the storylines to you as they happen.
A couple of throws already in camp that have been exceptional.
Welcome back to Training Camp Live, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Let's return to our perch at Ray Nitschke Field and rejoin the voice of the Packers, Wayne Larrivee, and Packers OT host, Bill Schmid.
Joining you from Ray Nitschke Field, it is Billy Schmid alongside the voice of Cheesehead TV, Aaron Nagler. To my right, Wayne Larrivee will rejoin Training Camp Live coming up tomorrow here on the program. We appreciate you listening to us on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, streaming it live on Cheesehead TV's YouTube page, as well as Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin. Just wrapped up practice here as the double horn sounds and the Packers disperse from Ray Nitschke Field. Nags.
Ooh, good word.
Thank you. Well, when you were about bequeathed in the previous segment, I had to be able to follow that up with a good one of my own. Now,
nice.
The easiest sports radio question is your big takeaways from practice here today. One of my most interesting observations, at least interesting to my normal eye, is the amount that you saw Jagger Burton and Jacob Monk almost locking up and taking over those guard positions. Now,
Yes.
Granted, somebody, name being Aaron Banks, going to have something to say about that once the games start happening. But Jagger Burton is hard to deny his explosiveness and physicality that he got to showcase here today.
I mean, from the very first snap, right? When they were running power on the right side, and he puts Edgerrin Cooper on his back. I mean, welcome to the league, kid. He certainly looks the part. Now, I got to think they're going to probably lean towards experience with Jacob Monk, who's been with them for a long time. But, man, you can't just ignore him. Like, he is going to have a say here when the preseason games start in particular. If his tape is noticeably better and more consistent, I don't know how you don't have that conversation. Because we said it at the start of team stuff, and they were doing the one-on-ones right in front of us. You know, Jacob Monk, for all they've talked about, you know, there's still way too many plays where he is overrun, overmatched, just straight up beat off the snap of the ball. I don't know. Maybe that improves over the course of the next 2-3 weeks, but doesn't engender confidence when that's everything that we saw last year.
Yeah. And the high end for Burton appears to be a pretty serious high end, right? Like there seems to be real top end potential there, and interesting to see if they tap into that, try to click that button right out of the gates. Also, just the physicality that you need to be able to play with on the offense is difficult to find in other bodies. Now, that being said, there's still a couple of days and weeks for this to manufacture and somebody else to jump up and steal some more headlines. But offensively, that was the headline here today. Defensively, again, now it wasn't a huge day in terms of big-time pass breakups. There was one beautiful one intended for Christian Watson. But Brandon Cisse is not letting up on the excitement that Packers fans have for number 2.
They should be excited. He looks absolutely, we've talked about it, he looks absolutely legit. There is zero doubt about it. And they continue that rotation. You know, we had Nixon and Cisse in the last kind of number 1 session. So these guys are going to get all those opportunities. And Cisse, I mean, he's right in the mix. There's zero doubt about it. And I haven't seen any moment where he looks overwhelmed. Does he get beat? Yep, you're going to get beat. But there is no moment where he's not competing and at least giving them consistent high-level play, which, as we know, has been a bit of an issue at that spot over the course of the last couple of years. So he's absolutely looking the part. Very excited for Brandon Cisse. And I'm very excited for, look at this man, literally just talked about this. You used the word disperse, Billy.
Yeah, you were right.
They have dispersed. And now who is still out here working with a coach? Who is still out here, full pads, helmet, still working? That's
Zaire Franklin, number 44. He walked over, grabbed a pad, shook a hand with a teammate or with a fan here off to the Ray Nitschke Field stands and went back out for some more work. And he is about the work. And I think that was the way that Matt LaFleur mentioned it, that I love the way that he's about trying to attack getting better. And that is one of the best vet types of statements that you can make. He's been in the league now. He's a made man financially.
Yes.
However, that if you're going to be able to start and be a productive player on one of the better defenses, hopefully in football, you got to be about all the work. And it does seem like he is 1,000% about all the action that gets put out in front.
And you love to see it. And I just love his leadership style. I love how he's embraced Green Bay. it's great when you seemingly, now it's early, we'll see when the games start, when you seemingly hit on a guy in free agency or a trade, a guy you bring in from outside the organization. Because look, you don't have to look much further than last year. They brought in a cornerback who did last one season, barely played.
Barely.
And they cut bait, right? I just think, it's tricky when you bring people in, you're trying to find that culture fit. Zaire seems all about this Green Bay life, and I'd love to see it.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly what you want to be able to see. I'm about this guy's life right in front of us. He's got the Cheesehead TV hat on.
There we go,
as
baby.
well. All
there
gas, no brakes in front.
Loving it.
We love to see more Cheesehead TV hats out here. We see some Cheesehead TV T-shirts as well. The Ben Johnson shirt over here to our left.
I can't believe it. It's phenomenal.
Ben Johnson.
And we got All You Need Is Love. We got all sorts of Cheesehead
I love
TV
the fact
merch
that
out
we get the merch out here because it's some of the best merch that you're going to be able to find for Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Before we send you off, Nags, to locker room availability and all the other fun conversation here, we mentioned we feel, you and I, this show is in sync. Feels like the Packers might be playing their guys coming up on Thursday night. As we get closer to the close of camp and we get closer to decisions having to finally be made,
right.
In terms of a confidence level, where you were a year ago, right? Vibes were very high a year ago. Vibes were very high a year ago.
They were.
It seems like nationally it's a little bit more lukewarm. Where are you at right now after seeing it?
Nationally, they're
seeing it close up in person.
Packers are done. They're going to finish third or fourth. Like they're going to fall away. It's the Bears' time now, et cetera, et cetera. Man, forget all that nonsense. They're still going to win 10 to 12 games. It's all going to be about health. Are they healthy towards the end, and are they playing their best football heading into December and into January? Because, look, they're really good. They're really talented. They've got a ton of cohesion on offense, is what you need in the NFL. The defense is a big question mark. It's going to be survival mode almost while they're waiting for Micah Parsons, no question about it. But, man, they've got everything they absolutely need. It's going to be about what injuries do they suffer, how do they mitigate those, and can they just get a touch of luck in that health department, just a touch. I don't need everybody healthy all the time because that's unrealistic, but I don't need 5 of the 6 best players on the team to all get hurt within 3 weeks of each other. That would be a step forward. So, yeah, I know what the perception is. I know what the perception is, even sometimes somewhere locally. I think this is a really talented team that has a shot at going and doing something pretty special. But again, the ball's got to bounce a certain way every once in a while. They do have to stay healthy. But, man, I don't buy all this like it's over. It's an off year. I've seen that too. They're primed for 2027. Like this year, they're just skipping 2026. Like that is all nonsense. That is all ridiculous. This is a team that is going to compete and should, if they, again, get a little lucky on the health side, they should win the division and go on a run.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. They're my favorite bet at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, bet above the rest, to win the NFC North at plus 230. I think it's a great number. You still get the second place schedule. You don't have to face that first place schedule and daunting one that the Bears are going to have. And I still think that you feast on the Motor City Kitties twice coming up in 2026. Nags, it's always a pleasure. It means a lot that you come over here and take away from your Twitter account to be able to hang out with us and celebrate and broadcast to Cheesehead TV fans all over the place. Listeners on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, you are phenomenal. You're one of the goods, and we appreciate you being here, brother.
Appreciate you. And before I leave, happy birthday, my friend.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday. Working on your birthday. You're gassing me up. You're working on your birthday.
Well, listen, once you hit a certain age, I can't drink all day. Right?
So you're just going to work?
So I might as well work, right? My wife's like, oh, don't you want to take off and hang out with the kids? Well, I got to work. You can't drink Cheesehead TV, carry the G all day. You might as well work.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, you could. It's not recommended.
Not necessarily recommended. However, very, very good for dealing with toddlers. Nags, you're the greatest.
Thank you, brother.
You're the man.
Appreciate it.
We will be back to close things up on the other side as we enjoy practice number 10, our 6th day up here for Training Camp Live. Public practice number 7 in the books. We'll put this thing to bed on Training Camp Live right after this, presented by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Today's practice at Packers training camp is underway, and we're bringing all of the storylines to you as they happen.
A couple of throws already in camp that have been exceptional.
Welcome back to Training Camp Live, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Let's return to our perch at Ray Nitschke Field and rejoin the voice of the Packers, Wayne Larrivee, and Packers OT host, Bill Schmid.
Appreciate you joining us here today for our 6th day providing Training Camp Live updates and conversation throughout Green Bay Packers practice. I'm Bill Schmid of The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, as well as Packers OT, talking Green Bay Packers football with you after each and every game on your home for Packers football. We'll be back on coming up Thursday night as the Packers take on the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh, potentially Jordan Love against Aaron Rodgers for the final time in their NFL careers. Both might play a whopping like 3 or 4 plays. Could be exhilarating theater. We will see for sure. Matt LaFleur mentioned earlier today, and has for the last week, that these are, as he says, football players, and they need to be ready to play football. We will see if they'll be playing football coming up on Thursday night. My guess, as we mentioned with Nags a couple of minutes ago, my guess is you see some starters coming up on Thursday night. The calendar just builds itself into possibly seeing some guys. Also, the lack of wanting to play out in Denver might add something to it. Not only would you then be playing physically 2 games in almost 5 days, 6 days, if you do the joint practice the following Wednesday here after a Friday night game in the altitude in Denver. Might want some more time to be able to recoup after that. There's a Sunday public practice here. The schedule builds probably better for the Packers if they're going to get some training camp practice and some training camp games, some preseason action in, that it would happen coming up on Thursday night at Acrisure Stadium, and you'll be hearing about it here on your home for Packers football, Fox Sports 920 in Milwaukee. Packers practice here today was capped off by number 38, Jalen Simpson, having a pick six. The second-year player out of Auburn would have taken it to the house to finish out team portion on the far side of the field. Would have been about a 90-yard interception return for a touchdown. Good way to cap off practice as the Green Bay Packers get themselves ready to roll here in 2026. No massive injuries to report from the day today. Did not have Matthew Golden out here. Did not have Jaden Reed out here. Expect them, as well as no Josh Jacobs. Expect both of them and all of them hopefully back out here coming up tomorrow. When we're back out here tomorrow with the voice of the Green Bay Packers, Wayne Larrivee, will rejoin me tomorrow as we bring you once again Training Camp Live on your home for Green Bay Packers football, Fox Sports 920. One more time here, courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest. Bet big, bet bold, and bet above the rest. If you're going to a Brewers game this year, hop on the Potawatomi Game Day Shuttle to and from Brewers games. Take it right back to the Sportsbook and enjoy the entire day. Hopefully you enjoyed your day here with us. My thanks to Armin Sarian for producing the show back in the studio. Thanks to Aaron Nagler for joining me live here from the perch. Everybody that stopped by and said hi at Ray Nitschke Field. And all of you for listening. It's been Training Camp Live, presented by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.